So I'm going to talk a little bit about something that everybody asks me about my military experience. Well, I'll start with where do I start? At the very beginning. Went to high school at the Voc. As many of you know, I went to high school with some of you guys. Um, I enlisted in 2000 prior to 9/11 happening. 9/11 happening while I was in high school. So I enlisted in high school. I think I graduated like on a Tuesday, and I was at Fort Benning on a Friday. I initially had gone in military intelligence as a linguist, and then one of the recruiters there had just come out of Ranger School, and I changed my mind just like that. I wanted to be a Ranger. I wanted to be the best. I wanted to jump out of planes, helicopters, whatever they got, and be awesome. So I ended up I took the ASVAB, and I changed my enlistment to infantry, 11 Bravo. No Ranger contract, no airborne. I initially wanted to be a Ranger, but I didn't know that you had to be airborne back at that time in order to get a Ranger slot. I didn't get one, but hey, it's where we are. So, yeah, I left on a Friday, went to a local hotel. They took us there. I was dropped off by my parents. I was 17 years old. Yeah, I was 17 because I hadn't turned 18 yet. So I had to get a waiver. And yeah, I had to get a waiver. My diploma, I gave it to the recruiter. My birthday's in November, so November I turned 18. But slept overnight in the hotel, and then boom, I went to basic training, Fort Benning, Georgia. I was at Echo Company 258, House of Pain. My drill sergeants were Drill Sergeant Hawley and Drill Sergeant Dodge and Drill Sergeant Borneman. I don't know whatever happened to them, but Drill Sergeant Dodge's nickname was Little Lucifer. So he was hell on us, smoked us all the time, um, delivered a lot of pain for us to graduate. And we had a lot of screw ups. We had some not so, uh, you know, excellent people. We had some older guys, we had younger guys. I was just a kid. I was 17 years old. Um, Fort Benning was tough. It was hot. It was there's that clay, that brown clay that you get at Fort Benning. Uh, those heat categories because people were passing out. Heat categories one, two, three, four, and I think I went to five where it was like 100 degrees, and it was brutal at the time. I didn't realize what I was getting into. Uh, I remember being on the bus and the bus pulling up to Fort Benning. Well, 30th AG. That's where you go first. You don't go to basic training right off the bat. You go to 30th AG, which is this place where they check you in, do your medical, receive all your gears. You get a debit card with your name on it from some random bank, and you start getting paid. For a lot of people, it's a wake up call. I went to overnight summer camp when I was a kid, so I was gone. I think when I was 8, it started. It was West End House, Alston Brighton area, and it was a positive experience, very positive. I was used to not being home, and yeah, it was an overnight experience for camp. So boot camp to me wasn't anything new. I wasn't home. I was happy to not be home and doing my thing. I told myself I'm enlisting and no one is stopping me. And no one stopped me at the time. My dad kind of did. He offered me everything under the sun, but I told him this is a decision I made and I am going. So I went. So I went to 30th AG. I was there, I think, a long time before we even started basic training. And eventually we went downrange and went to basic training, and that's when I went to 258 Echo Company 258. And it was great. We did everything we had to do, pulled pranks on each other. We had this kid, what was his name? I think his name was Bender or something. He liked to pull pranks on people. We had the older guy in charge of us. His name was Reed. I think he was in his 30s when we went there. We had a lot of we had Okie, some kid from Oklahoma who talked funny. He was a great guy, harmless. Um, yeah, it was a good time. I enjoyed it. I had fun. We pulled a lot of pranks. My two battle buddies that I ended up going to Hawaii with for the 25th Infantry Division, my buddy Nick and my buddy Lonnie, stand-up guys, awesome guys who I think, well, Lonnie got out, but I think Nick is still in. I think he might be a first sergeant or a sergeant major or something now, but he's still in. I mean, we had a blast. It was yeah, there's times that suck, but that's what anything. It was terrific. I had a good time. I mean, looking back at it, would I do it again? Absolutely. Yep, absolutely. It was yeah. I was at 258. I graduated. It was actually interesting how I got it. A lot of people ask me, "How did you get Hawaii? Was it part of your picks? Did you pick it? Was it in your wish list or anything?" In all reality, it wasn't in any of my lists. I had picked New York, Fort Drum, because I wanted to be close to home. I'm originally from Massachusetts. You guys all know that. My second one was Japan. I wanted to go to Japan. And then I think my third one was Texas. I didn't get any of those. I got Hawaii. It was actually weird how it happened. They started telling people down the line off of a roster where they were going, and then they got to me, and the drill instructor was like, "Hell, you must have a horseshoe somewhere in you, because you're going to Hawaii." And then it was the following four people Hawaii, and then they continued it going on down the line. Somehow Lonnie got 25th Infantry and Nick got 25th Infantry. But there was a room of a lot of people, and I got lucky. That's all I could say. I mean, it was just luck. And then graduated. My parents showed up. I got my blue cord. I had my cross rifles. I felt such a so much pride and just happiness in the fact that my parents were there. I was a completely different person. I was in shape. It was great. I'll never forget that one of the experience of hard working and earning my stripes, and it was just terrific. Um, yeah, so I got there. I got home on leave. I was home for maybe a week or two, and then they gave us order. My orders were to go report to Hawaii. So I had to be home and then from Logan go to Hawaii, which was a whole nother experience. Um, I'm just testing out the waters. My channel here is for mountain bike content. Uh, yeah, I can answer more questions later. I just want to test the waters. This is my video of how I joined the Army and how it occurred. Just a quick 10-minute video, and let me know what you guys think, and I'll go into more story mode.